What up, what up, what up, YouTube Live? How's it going, everybody? This is yours truly, Rama Screen. Oh my god. We just saw tonight's Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 14, the part 2 of Such Sweet Sorrow, the season finale, the Season 2 finale of Star Trek Discovery. And oh my god, I got a lot of things to say. I'm gonna base off I'm gonna base it on many of the tweets that I tweeted earlier this evening. By the way, to all of you out there who follow my tweets online at Ramascreen with two S, RAMASSCREEN. And if you retweeted some of my responses as we watched the episode live this evening, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you out there who retweeted my stuff. I appreciate it very much, and for engaging on the Twitter sphere about Star Trek Discovery Season 2 finale. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, man. Okay, so heads up, just like with many of my TV reviews and my episode recaps, this video contains spoilers. I'll be spilling some spoilers. Much of it is because I'm going to be sharing the context or what's happening or describing the plot synopsis and whatnot. So heads up, spoiler alert, you've been warned. Spoiler alert. Okay, so hold on. Have I mentioned here? Hold on, maybe I should type in. I am now live. I should mention on my social media that I'm now live at youtube.com/ramascreen1, giving you my review of tonight's Star Trek Discovery Season 2 finale. All right, come join me. Hashtag Star Trek, hashtag Discovery, hashtag Star Trek Discovery Season 2 finale. And then let me give a GIF image because I like GIF images. Yeah, I say GIF, okay? um Woo! Wow. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay, let's go through some of the notes here that I have, or some of the tweets that I tweeted. First of all, um, so just a refresher. Last week was a goodbye tour, right? It's a goodbye tour, one after the next. Saying goodbye to each other, and then of course the Discovery made a pact to stay with Burnham, and so that Burnham has company, and that if she goes off stranded into the future, that they would be with her. And so that's what happened last week's episode, and of course Captain Pike um, transitioned back to the Enterprise, so he said goodbye to the Discovery, and so tonight's episode is battle time. Holy crap! Let's start with that. I I think I've mentioned to you this before plenty of times, but I just want to say again or reiterate it again that, man, I am so impressed with the level of quality of the visual effects on this show. I mean, they really go all out, man. It's like it's cinematic, it's movie-like quality. It's so immersive too. I mean, I'm watching it on my computer screen, and I feel like I still feel like I'm there. It's that it's that engaging. I'm so immersed in it, and I love that. The visual effects looks fantastic. So kudos to everybody involved on that aspect of the show. Um, just from the get-go, right from the start of when Captain Pike says this is Starfleet, get it done, because he has this thing, right? Because Captain Jean-Luc Picard has his engage and make it so. Captain Pike has his get it done, or what else did he say tonight? Hit it. He said hit it. So that's his sayings. Uh, and at one point, Saru quoted Sun Tzu. Now I tried reading The Art of War one time. I mean, somebody gave that book to me as a gift. I haven't finished reading it. I think I have it in a closet somewhere. So I need to dust it off. But people say, hey, you gotta if there's there are a few books that you have to read before you die. To Kill a Mockingbird is one of them, and the other one, of course, is The Art of War. And there's some other plenty of choices as well. And so I gotta check that out. So when Tilly asks Saru for some kind of war speech, Saru instead gives Sun Tzu quotes, with which, of course, Michelle Yeoh quickly recognizes. Um, Speaking of whom, Philippa Giorgio, this Terran Emperor Philippa Giorgio, is just hilarious. Oh my god, she, throughout this season too, she comes up with the snarkiest, smart ass, comebacks or comments. And it's just like tonight, when she and that, I forget her name, I gotta look her up, the head of the security for Enterprise, when she and her are fighting Leland, right before they fight, they 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 have this little kind of like exchange of like, mocking it to each other, but Filippo Giorgio says, like, you are kind of like, what did you say? You are kind of like the AI sausage, some kind of an AI sausage, and then so that's nasty. uh, there, whenever she makes a comeback comment, there's something innuendo about it, but it's also belittling at the same time. It's just so fun, such a fun character, and I'm sure the writers just have a blast in the writers' room trying to come up with the most memorable lines for Philippa Giorgio to say, the Emperor Philippa Giorgio, not the original one. So love it, love it, love it. What else? What else? Oh, okay. So during that battle, right, going on, freaking Section 31 attacking Enterprise and Discovery. Now there's a lot of things going on during that fight, and of course the shields for both ships, uh, um, they're decreasing, by every 5 minutes or so. It's like, oh, we're only 38% left and whatnot. And dude, it's the whole sequence looks so, it makes you feel concerned because when you watch battle scenes in the previous Star Trek installments, whether it be the Next Generation or Voyager or Enterprise, or even the Star Trek on the big screen, with the Kelvin timeline with J.J. Abrams. Um, there's always, I mean, each of them has a various or varying degree of what's the word I'm looking for here, of catastrophe, varying degree level of catastrophe. And also it depends on how much budget the show has, right? If back then, with the Next Generation, for example, or the original series, there's only so much you can do to stage a battle that epic. But with Star Trek Discovery, man, they pull out all stops. Like, you feel concerned because, like, every 5 minutes or so, or at least for a moment of time, whenever Captain Pike or Saru on the Discovery, Captain Pike on the Enterprise, whenever they asks for his crew members to tell them, you know, hey, give me damage report. It's like, and they would say, like, oh my God, confirm 9 dead on the other end of that, on the other end of that our ship, or 9 dead on the engineering room or whatever. So it's like, and then in some moments you actually see um the crew members dying, either and either they're in pain on the sick bay, or they get sucked out to space. And it's just like, yeah, dude, the stakes are really, really high. Like, they really want you to know that if you are a crew member on either one of those two ships, there's a chance you could die during that moment of battle. And so that's what the show showed us tonight in this episode. At one point, there's this torpedo that finds itself in Enterprise. It's like a big giant bug or pain in Enterprise's ass. And so 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 the admiral decides ultimately, like, oh, I'm the only one who can fix this. I have to manually overdrive it, so I have to sacrifice myself. And I tweeted earlier that if you notice, that's the pattern throughout this second season. There's always um, a moment of martyrdom, where sacrificing oneself for others. I think Saru had his moment. Who else? Of course, uh, Commander Aram, the one that died, had her moment, and of course Michael Burnham had had many moments because Michael Burnham has a Jesus Savior complex. Um, so there's this pattern, and you can argue that that is because the crew members of Discovery and Enterprise, or Starfleet in general, they take a vow, take an oath to place duty before oneself. So, and that would be a valid argument to make for such a reason of why there seems to be martyrdom going on a lot. Um, some of the surprises that happen, uh, uh, because Discovery and Enterprise are in big trouble, right? Their shields are going down, their shields power is going down. It's like, oh my god, this Section 31 is so overwhelming, and then bam, a big ship, a big ass ship, just cuts through the space and just like bulldozes all the Section 31 ships in its way, and voila! Turns out it's Saru's sister, Sarana. Oh my god, it's Sarana is badass. And it's just so epic looking at her manning that thing. And the other alliance, or the other ally, is the Chancellor, the Klingon Chancellor, and of course with the help of Ash Tyler. So there's that as well. So they come in, right at the not very last minute, but right at the most crucial moment of Star Trek Discovery and Enterprise. They come in, kind of swoop in and save the day, and kind of help out with the battle. It reminds me, that whole thing reminds me of of The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. That moment when Frodo and Sam, or the Hobbit, Bilbo and the guys, they're like so right off the edge, and they could die at that point if they don't get you know uh, any kind of help. And then right at that urgent moment, freaking the big eagles swoop in and save the day and fly them off. That's what it reminds me of. Like, oh, okay, Klingon, I see you there. Okay, Saran, I see you there. You know, quite the timing you got there. You could have showed up earlier. Um, so, but it's still awesome to see them helping out, and then of course leave it to the Klingons to get everybody all riled up when they say, "Today is a good day to die hard." I'm sorry, die, not die hard. Freaking John McClane. Um, in the midst of all that, of course, the writers have to also um, put a bow tie or some kind of acceptable or serviceable conclusion to the whole Hugh and Stamets romance story. So, what happens if you've seen tonight's episode? Stamets gets injured while trying to prepare Michael Burnham's suit, and then in the sick bay, Hugh meets Stamets, and Hugh says along the lines of like, "Hey, you know what? You're my home. Whenever I come back, I always come back around you." And that just gives you like, oh, I was like, come on, where's the box of Kleenex when you need one? So it's not like the most. I wouldn't say it's the most conclusive resolve, but it's just like, okay, you can argue like, of course Hugh's gonna say that's the Stamets. Stamets about to die, or he's hurting badly. He's in pain, like and I'm here. I'm the ex boyfriend. I gotta say something to bring him back to life, or bring him back to at least some semblance of like trying to fight through the pain. So you can argue that. Um, and the way it's done is it's nice. It's nice, but I think if as a fan of romantic drama and romantic comedy, it'd be cooler if such a confession or such a um, declaration of feelings or whatnot. It would be nice if it's done not under the period of duress or stress, because when you're dying or when everything around you is falling apart, of course it's gonna be easy for you to say those things. It's the the romantics, like, oh yes, I love you, I wish we could have another time with you, I wish I could have another day, but if you actually sit down and talk to each other and when everything's okay, then that's would be when the communication is really put to the test between the two people, the couple. So that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I think for what it is, it's okay. Okay. Uh, they of course they have to at least visit that. They can't leave that hanging. So that's what the writers give you in tonight's episode. Um, Also on my note here, um, the wormhole that Michael goes through, because it's revealed tonight that because Michael is the even though her mother, Dr. Burnham, is the Red Angel that we see in previous episode, but the one that actually sends out those signals is not Dr. Burnham. It's not the mother. That's why when Dr. Burnham is confronted by Captain Pike's like, "What about those signals?" And she's like, "What signals? I don't get what you're talking about." And so we see in tonight's episode Michael Burnham um, doing exactly what her mother did, and by that I mean she goes through the wormhole, goes back, several times to several signals to the past, to the previous episode. So we see what happened before, and then you also notice that just like Dr. Burnham, there's this bit of a slingshot, like she can't stay in that moment for a long time. She'll get sucked back right out, you know, by the universe again. And but that whole sequence of her going through the wormhole with that hole opening up, and you can see the screen kind of like you move from the front to the back of the screen. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. The imagination of the people involved with the story, the writers and the showrunners, is impressive. It's impressive. I know there's a lot of people out there, my fellow Trek fans, who are not too crazy about Star Trek Discovery, and some of their points are valid. And I think, even despite that, that you have to admit that these elements that they have, visual stuff, is just mind blowing. It's a sight to behold, man. It really caresses your sight. This show, especially season 2. So, and tonight's episode specifically. I tweeted that Leland finds himself in a cage, and he said, "Do you think this cage will hold me?" And that kind of takes me back to Loki in the Avengers, the first Avengers movie. That's like, so that's a little, haha on my part. Um, and also when Leland fights Terran Emperor Philippa Giorgio and that security captain, uh, because of the gravity pull that was kind of messed up during the battle. And so you see the hallway fight scene where they kind of rotate, around. That reminds me of Inception. Inception, that's right. By the way, next year is Inception 10th anniversary. So I love that movie. So that hallway fight scene is very, very Inception-esque. Um, so I retweeted Anson Mount's tweet from this evening. I want to share it with you here. Anson Mount is the one who plays Captain Pike, and he said, "Tonight's the night. Thank you, CBS All Access, Star Trek, CBS TV Studios, Alex Kurtzman, the entire writing staff, Sonika Martin Green, the entire cast and crew, and most importantly to the fans. It's been a hell of a ride. Thank you for letting me take it." And we're gonna miss him. You probably heard the news that Anson Mount and Rebecca Romaine will not be coming back. Now we don't know yet Ethan Peck will come back as Spock in season 3. We don't know yet. Judging from tonight's episode, obviously they are not allowed to talk about Discovery. They are not allowed to speak about Discovery. That's one of the things that they agreed upon when they go through this whole examination. I guess you could say not interrogation, but like just that's what they agree upon. It's like in order to make sure that the mission is safe and that the mission has meaning, we are not to talk about Discovery from this point forward. And so that's basically the show's way of saying to you um, that that's why when we watch the Star Trek, the original series, for example, that there's no mention of Michael Burnham, there's no mention of Saru. It's the show's way of trying to make it seems like, okay, that's why, and it's because they made a pact not to talk about Discovery ever again. Um, it's okay. I'm all right with that. I'm now curious though, because Spock is rocking his classic look, all shaven. By the way, I think bearded Spike was starting to grow on me, but it's kind of nostalgic seeing him rocking the blue suit, and clean shaven, and of course there's Spike. So now my question is, okay, as much as I'm also looking forward to Discovery season 3, I would also be curious to watch how Sulu, Uhura, and Scotty and everybody's, how they come into the picture of Enterprise. Um, so we don't know. We don't know. Maybe Alex Kurtzman's gonna take care of that as well. As you know, he's already handling a lot of stuff. Michelle Yeoh, Philippa Giorgio will have her own solo standalone series. There's that Jean-Luc Picard standalone series, and there's that animated Star Trek series as well. That's going to be more comedic. So we'll see. We'll see. We don't know yet, but I gotta say that I am kind of now curious. I'm like, oh, I want to see the beginnings of those other Enterprise crew members as well. Now that you've teased us with Spock, clean shaven Spock and Pike, it'll be nice to see, But that maybe I'm not alone on that one, or maybe I am. But it brings up my curiosity seeing that. So overall, we see the Discovery goes through the wormhole, and the last words that Saru says to Captain Pike is "Goodbye, Captain Pike," and Captain Pike replies by saying, "Goodbye, my friends, my family." Tears, tears. The waterworks, the waterworks. See, the thing is, and this is gonna be my last point. Star Trek Discovery show is designed to cater to today's audience of fans of shows that are about long arcs, right? I mentioned to you this many times, long arcs, not procedural, not like every episode starts and ends with that story. Long arc. Fans of 13 to 14 episodes kind of show, not the regular 26 per season. So that's what it's designed for. And 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 the story is like a big every episode is a big part of the next episode without its having to say to be continued. So that's basically what the show is designed for. Now if you are my fellow Star Trek fans who like who like Star Trek Discovery, but also you like the old format of the old installments like the Next Generation and Voyager uh, um, and of course Enterprise. And if you like if you miss the good old days of that format, I think I'm serious here. I think the Orville series actually provides that feel of the old format of Star Trek old installments. So I've been watching the Orville, and I'm hooked now because it does remind me. it does remind me of me growing up watching The Next Generation. It's just, there's the exploration. Every episode is in. It's like, let's go there, let's go save this guy, let's go, let's go beat up the krill to save this guy. Um, it's not necessarily one connected long arc, even though there's a part of that. So if you miss that format, I'm saying is that you can always watch the Orville, in addition to liking Star Trek Discovery for what it is. And so, yeah. In conclusion, what an excellent season 2 finale. Oh my god, all the feels, man. And I I'm sad that now we have to wait a long ass time until season 3 arrives. I hate waiting. And I'm sure in the fall season they're gonna come up with the short treks, which I like the previous short treks. I like those ones. The one of them introduced us to Saru's sister. So yeah, looking forward to those as well. The new short treks, and oh my god, you know what? I might just rewatch it again. I'm right after this. I'm gonna rewatch that tonight's Star Trek Discovery episode. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in on this live review of Star Trek Discovery Season 2 finale, Part 2 of Such Sweet Sorrow. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. What did you think about it? Are you I don't know, as stoked and as sad as I was when watching it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe. Tell everybody and their grandma about this channel. Press like button, ring that bell, and if you can help support me, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Live long and prosper. Let's rock this.